I'm gonna say the quote that he has on his channel. He is just a simple man making his way in the galaxy. Almost 10k subs, a Discord server with many people around. He's a World of Warships Legends community contributor, and he's here with us. And the name is Derka Games. Hello. Did I say anything well, or did I miss something?
Oh, I think you got it all. That's about all the social media that I operate on, but thank you for having me. I feel honored to be here.
Thank you for being here in the community and in the Back to Board podcast. I mean, how the name Derka, does it mean something? It is a nickname, or
Yes.
how does it come?
100%. So when I was in middle school, the nickname Derka, it just stuck. So my first name is Derek, and ever since then, all my friends have called me Derka. So it was an easy gamer tag to pick, and like email address and literally everything else. And yeah, to this day, even well into our 30s, all my friends still call me Derka.
Please tell me how it started, how it's going. I mean, you are a World of Warships Legends community contributor. Are you feeling special about it?
Special? Oh, I mean, I'm very happy to be a CC. I'm honored to be a CC. I think, it's a little bit of an accomplishment, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving creating content, and I'm happy to be a CC. Another part of that question, I think you were asking how I got started.
Yeah.
So I wanted a creative outlet, and I guess I've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years now. 3 years. I just wanted
3 years, yeah.
wanted something creative to do, and I was like, why don't I just try to make videos? And around that time, I was playing World of Warships and watching guys like Spartan and T-Bull, Spotted Gecko on the weekends, and I was like, I think I could do that. And so
Why not?
that kind of got me started, and here we are.
Yeah, everyone asking about how tough was it, your first moment, your first videos. I mean, there is a grind behind that. How was that grind till you make it in the CC program?
It's definitely tough to get started, and I would tell people, though, if that's something that you're wanting to do, don't let it be an obstacle. It's something you can accomplish. You just need to make one video after another, one foot in front of the other. It's hard to get started on YouTube. The first videos you're going to make, they're just gonna suck. That's just how it is. But that's the only way you're gonna get better. It's like you in the podcast. How were those first podcasts? But it takes a long time to learn the process and to learn what to do and to make better quality content. And we started off, the first videos, I go back and watch them and I think, wow, this is terrible. But I don't ever want to delete it, because I think it's funny to go back and just to see like how far you've come, and it's a reminder that you can always do more, get better at your craft.
Perfect. For example, if I go back to my first episode with Filigula 3 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And I hear the intro of my voice and the other podcasters as well, Rogue PLC, for example. I can say myself, that was a bad episode. For example, I will never produce an episode so bad like this.
Yeah.
But as you said, there is there to remind me my first steps, the mistakes I made, and every time I hear it, I can realize that I've made a lot of progress, and I'm happy with that. Doesn't make me feel bad in my inner heart, but I know the struggle, the progress, and all the procedures that brought me here, and that's a good feeling in the end of the day. So
absolutely,
let's continue with the second scale of that questions. How it's going now to be a CC, and how things going after your successful story on the CC side. How it's going, because if you hit the top, for example, and you're happy, the tough part is to remain on the top and start rising few steps every day. So that's the tough part, if I remember. Staying on top, how is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I'm on top, but yeah, I don't know. I guess you just gotta keep going, I suppose. And yeah, I don't know. Like on top, are you saying like in content creation, like outperforming other people, or how do you mean?
I mean, when I'm saying on top, I mean you're on your peak at the moment. You are gaining subscribers. You are earning some views. Your videos have an average of 3 digits, and that's something that 4 digits, not 3 digits, and it is something that when you are in the content creation, you have to set some goals. For example, if you say now that a video of you will make 2,000 views, a few years ago it will be very happy to produce a video with 2,000 views, but now I think that 2,000 views, for example, is the minimum of your goals at the moment. That's why I'm saying when you are raising at the top.
Well, I think I just need to keep finding ways to be creative and to differentiate myself from all of the new Legends content creators.
Yeah.
That is something I noticed with a lot of what I would call the old guard. You know, the first CCs, they made content and they were there first, so views were easy, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people figured out, hey, I can do this too. So I think the key to it is to always watch the competitors, even though at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Better the community, teach people to play the game. We're here because we love it. But we are competing against each other, so I think it's important to keep watching the up-and-comers and to keep evolving, make content exciting. Don't get stuck in a rut doing the same thing, which sometimes I feel like I get in.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It is very hard to stay relevant. In a month's time or 2 months' time, like look how much has changed in the World of Warships YouTube community, and that could happen to me too. You never know.
Yeah, and saying this, I'm gonna catch the opportunity and grab the questions that I have here in my logbook. With Hipper, T-Bull, Let Them Pick, Spartan, Chili, and many other people, Spotting Gecko also, if I remember. They are not producing content, or they left the CC program. Those names, especially T-Bull at the moment, is a name that the community remind me every day when I see comments about the CCs. For example, they all gonna say, where is the T-Bull, why he left, and etc. We all know the story about why he left, but there are names here, the old guard, as you say, that they left the program and they stopped with either way or creating content. How do you feel about that?
I mean, basically all of those people, we could look at examples and there's a specific reason why Spartan was gone or Let 'em Peak was discontinued, and T-Bull, we all know the story there. So I don't think there's like an underlying thing that all of these people have left. I don't think there's this big conspiracy or anything like that. I think that some of the content creators just have gotten really burnt out. I really feel like that was T-Bull and Hipper's thing. Yeah. Life goes on, and sometimes when you started making content for a game, things change a couple years later and it's just not in the cards for you anymore. So I'm not going to chalk it up to World of Warships, losing these creators. I'm going to chalk it up to life happening. It's hard to stay committed to doing this. It's a lot of hours in a week, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of commitment, and things just change for people.
Things popping up like Legends is dying, the game is dead, the people declining, and etc. You're gonna see all that connected in a way, in a conspiracy theory that the CC program is going down because people don't watch the videos, etc., etc., etc. Which it's not something that I agree with the people commenting that the game is dead, etc. It is, as you said,
right.
People have real lives and they have to keep on or move on to other games. For example, if they don't be happy with the program, or if they don't happy with the views and they want something else, they can keep going in something else. But I have something here that some people justify a reason. Do you think that Legends team took so long to implement some features in the game that really fed up people to move on to some other games.
You mean like training rooms and things like that?
Blitz, training room, for example.
I mean, I don't... Yeah. Okay, so if we tackled the training rooms thing, yeah, this was the battle cry of everyone for so long, right? We need training rooms. We need training rooms. Right now, if you loaded up Legends and looked how many training rooms are running, I'm going to guess 5 to 10.
5 to 10, yeah,
right?
Exactly. 5 to 10, yeah.
So, like, do we really think that is why all of these players moved on? Now, maybe other things like fleets, people wanted competitive play. Sure, that took a long time to implement, but no, I don't think any of these little features taking a long time. Like, if people got tired of playing the game, I'm not blaming the Legends team, you know, that they took too long to implement these things, just in my opinion. And to go ahead and answer or talk about what you said before, like the thought that Legends is dying, I think that's pretty silly. Maybe some people want to believe that's what's happening, you know, and it's sensationalism and wow, it's cool to talk about. Legends is dying.
Yeah.
What a great clickbait title for your YouTube video.
Exactly.
But is that what the statistics say? Like if anybody does YouTube analytics or knows how to do that, and you start looking at like the popularity of World of Warship Legends and, you know, videos being watched, has it really gone down?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Right. So I would, you know, if people are really questioning that, I would urge them to go out and get information for themselves instead of just, you know, jumping on the bandwagon or listening to what people say. People like to talk.
People like to talk, and also people like to be baited with big titles and, you know, read titles. The game is dying, Legends community is declining, the numbers are going down, etc. I know we had a surge in numbers when we had the COVID thing, you know, 2 years with the COVID. Everyone was in their houses, they were playing games, the community raised up, the numbers went up, and now we have a normal life. We are out of quarantine and we are in our normal daily routine stuff. So it is normal also for people to decline. But I think that Legend has stable numbers at the moment and the situation is stabilizing. I mean, the team is giving every month new content, brawl, ranked battles. They have a variety of things out there to keep people busy. So I don't think that the game is dying, and I don't want to jump in the crazy wagon of people saying...
Right. So what do you think? And I can ask you a question here. Do you think they took too long to implement these features? Like, was it something that you and your community, you know, was it something that really bothers you that it took them so long to get fleets and training rooms? And
no, I mean, people always have something to cry over. And that's the gaming community. If for example, if the armor viewer was implemented a few years before, it will keep the people, for example, stay longer. I don't think so. Everything that was implemented, corrected, and stay in the game was a few months, for example, later, it's okay. But I don't think that Legends had features that were stopped or they are behind the log that led people going to some other games. Because, you know, we are a niche community, we are a few, but we are a passionate community about the game we play. We are not like Call of Duty, we are not like CSGO, we are not like... any other popular game out there. We are a community that is dedicated to the game, a community that spends a lot in the game, that supports the company, for example, with their money. So I'm not expecting people to turn their back in the game because some features were never or they're implemented later on the game. And don't forget that we had 2 years with quarantine, and that was something that stopped not the quality, I think the quantity of the new features implemented in the game. That's my opinion. And then, if I remind you very well, we had the war with Ukraine and all that stuff that kept wargaming, changing studios and offices and all that stuff that happened in a few years ago.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Like the whole
system.
I mean, all of the Russian CCs and that whole part of it, like everything was just torn apart, basically.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so they had some changes. They had some rough seas in their way to make the game better. But I think they are still producing good quality content game. They are implementing new stuffs. I'm a bit of worried for some balance changes, but I see that they are coming one after another with a slower rate, but okay, they are coming. Spending is something on holidays, and now we have a holiday season, a holiday update, and we can see that there are a lot of crates. There are crates inside crates, and inside crates something like a system of crates gridding to gain the gifts and the super prizes. Are you happy with that?
Oh Lord. So something comes to mind. There was this old show, I think, called Pimp My Ride, and there was this guy named Exhibit, and so like his meme comes to mind. We put crates in your crates so you can get crates from your crates. I think it's pretty silly, pretty stupid maybe. It's just another monetization scheme, and no, I'm not going to get behind that, and gambling, I can't condone that. I would hope that everyone could make a responsible decision for themselves, that they wouldn't put themselves in financial trouble. And I know there are circumstances where people who have gambling addictions, they just wander into these things and it's awful and it can ruin their lives. And I hate that. But I mean, microtransactions and all of this stuff, it's here to stay. So like me complaining about it or, going down a tirade on it, it's not going to change anything. No, I don't like it. I think it's pretty silly, but what are you going to do about it? Or what am I going to do about it?
Some countries have special laws that they are stopping the loot boxes, the crates, all the gambling things around. But companies find a way to get out of that loop and produce things that they are in the law, but they are also in the fence between gambling and all that stuff. Anyway,
and I would say this, it could be worse. I don't know if your viewers have heard about this, but have you guys heard about? I think it's Rockstar. They're talking about ways to make you pay basically per hour of playtime. You know what I'm saying? Like playing or paying to continue playing. So it could be worse. Maybe that's where the future is headed. So this looks like the worst evil for now. But we should be cautious about this.
Does anyone force you to buy crates? No. It is a free game. You can go on. You can grind your lines. You can play the game without spending a dime, for example. So people want to create memories to remind them. Nostalgia, it is a Greek word, for example, and it means that you want to be reminded of some good memories. So people choose gifts, traveling, parties, decoration, and other holidays expenditures. All are behind that. So you can choose wisely what you want to be reminded. If you want to buy a pixelated ship, if that makes you happy, go on, make it. If you want to travel, go spend your money and travel. So as you said, you can spend wisely, and you can be responsible for what you are going to spend.
I guess that's what I just try to tell people is, spend responsibly, don't go out of your means. But I think you can enjoy the game Legends for free. You don't have to wail for Ohio when it gets here in a week. And I know this is kind of a hot button issue because Yoshino, last year, and the Lion the year before that, if you're going to grind all of this stuff, it's either money or it's a big time commitment.
Yeah, indeed.
But again, nobody has a gun to your head. You don't have to get one of those ships. You don't have to spend the time or the money. Just turn the game off and move on. If it's bothering you that much, just go do something else.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that we solved the mystery of the crates inside the crates, that reproduce crates inside crates. So I think that the community now knows. So a few things that we say about Ohio. I know that it is not good to reveal your secret patch notes videos and all that stuff, because we are today it is Saturday, and I think that you are not able to say things that are behind NDA. But I would like your opinion as a player about the ships that they are coming, as we saw in the teaser and in the trailers and all that stuff, and as we read in the patch notes. What do you think about the content that is coming to Legends, the holiday content?
Okay. So the NDA stuff, the only information that I got would be a Wednesday night before the patch notes videos come out on Thursday. So everything the community knows now is what I know. I don't have any special information anymore.
Perfect.
You know, after Thursday at 9:15 UTC time. So the ships coming, Anhalt and Ohio. I didn't rent Anhalt for the 1,000 doubloons. I just don't agree with paying 1,000 dubs to rent a ship for 7 days, so I didn't. So I haven't played it, but I watched a lot of footage on it, and I could say that, like, if it comes to getting one or the other, Anhalt or Ohio, you know what 99% of the people are going to choose, and they should choose, is going for the Ohio, because Anhalt just doesn't look that exciting to me. And it's just, I don't know, the design of it just kind of looks ridiculous, like a 12-year-old designed it, I suppose. So I have zero interest in that. The Ohio, from what I understand, and I believe Prince Blip released this information, 2.0 Sigma, Warspite dispersion, I suppose. It's going to be very, very accurate. Now, what we don't know is if we're going to get those crazy good secondaries, long-range secondaries. They should be accurate like Georgia, I'm sure, like in our game, but we don't know how long range they are going to be. But if they are long range secondaries like Massachusetts, then this could be an easy brawler build, because that Sigma and that dispersion are going to stand alone. I think it's going to be a very, very powerful ship. As for the early access French cruisers, I mean, if we're looking more at like Carnot type ships, I don't think they're going to be popular with the community.
I agree.
Per se, 29-second base reload, I think, is what I saw on shoot, and I'm not going to remember the name of it. The higher tier French cruiser that we are going to get, that's a long reload for a cruiser, and those guns that may not be that accurate. I don't know. The alt German destroyers, I think they look cool and interesting. The Merkur looks a lot cooler. It looks more like a beefed up Z35, and it has these cool wing torpedoes on the side. Indeed, so I think that's something
great,
we could be excited for. And then the campaign ship, which I believe is one of the last ships that we could talk about, the Brisbane. So Minnow with HE. I did some research. I watched on PC. I think like the HE damage output is maybe a little lackluster. They're going to be real floaty shells. I think it'll be interesting, but maybe a higher skill floor, because you have no smoke to hide behind, and it's a Minotaur, and I don't think it has super heals, but I could be wrong there. So I'm curious how the community will receive that one. And then the white ships, of course, I have nothing nice to say about reskinning premiums and selling them to us again, but...
with a W, with a W.
With a W. At least the Guépard, I guess the French DD at tier 5, since it's a tech tree ship, it should have some differing stats. So maybe there's something worth looking in that. Kind of like the Moss W or the Algerie W. There should be some differing stats to look for. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, this update, I suppose I wasn't really that excited about. It's just a bunch of new ships. I really liked the last update, 5.8, with all of the balance changes. Man, that was so fun. When Charles Martel and St. Louis and Alaska, all these ships get buffs and nerfs. It changes the whole dynamic of the game. You have 10 ships that are basically new again. You can go try them with new builds and do new things. To me, that's been one of my favorite updates of the entire year, and we didn't really even get any new ships out of it.
Yeah, indeed, because diversity is something that I really like in this game. It creates diversity, ships changes, and it also makes every old video irrelevant out there. So
that part sucks.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
So
like, as content creators, it's nice to build this big library of videos that you can be like, hey, go watch this, because you get questions every day. Derka, can you make a Yamato video? And so the buff changes, make those irrelevant. You're right, but still, it's nice to have the buffs and the balance changes.
Perfect. I think that we covered the things that we had to say, and now you're gonna switch to the community questions on our server. And before that, I'm gonna say that the update that is coming is focused on everyone. And when I'm saying everyone, is focused on the old players, because they know how to grind, they have the tools how to grind and complete the missions, so they can earn their super prizes, Ohio or Anhalt. But also it is focused on the new players that they are coming to Legends, so they can grab their winter version of any premium ship, spend money, whatever a new player does. Not very big date. For example, as you say, 5.8 was top for me in the last year, so I'm gonna say also in the last year the 5.8 update was something superb. But this is something for everyone, new, old, veteran, name it. You can choose whatever you like. So that's my verdict. And now we have the Derka Games questions. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, and we have Prime 3170. Hello Derka, what are your favorite destroyers? Any tips for playing French and pan-European destroyers? Take care. That was Prime 3170. So favorite destroyers and tips for playing French and pan-European destroyers.
I think favorite probably would be maybe the Brit destroyers. They're just so universal. They're good at everything. And a while back I made a video about like what ship line you should play if you're a new player, and the Brit DDs are top. The smokes, the sonars, they're just really good. Tips for the French and the pan-Euro ones? Oh boy, I don't know. You definitely have to be careful not having smoke. The French ones, when there's a CV in the match, it's just not as fun.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of the fun out of it. But I do have a good video, this is a shameless plug here, on French destroyers that would give you some great tips there, Prime. If you want to go check it out, it's on the channel.
And then it's me saying, watching your latest video about Zhao, do you think that Zhao is overpowered in Legends? If yes, please tell us why.
I think Zhao is, it's extremely good. It's extremely good. If it's not overpowered, it is borderline overpowered. And it's one of those ships that when I go look at my win rate and damage, and here I'm a pretty casual average player, but my average damage per game is like 145,000. That's a pretty powerful ship. So I'm concerned, like I don't want to play against this thing if I'm being honest. If I'm in a battleship and I load in a match, I don't want to see a Zhao on the enemy team. It's terrifying. It can wiggle, it can burn you down. It's so accurate. The shell's velocity is super fast. I mean, the ship has everything. I've had more like double strikes and crazy games this week playing Zhao than I've had since I played Minotaur when it first came out, for instance. So if it's not overpowered, it's pretty freaking close, and I'll just leave it at that. We'll find out in 2 months, if I'm right or if they leave it as is. We'll see. Time will tell.
Another one, Crazy Little Squirrel. What are your thoughts on Monarch's recent buff? Do you think she is among the best battleships at tier 7 now? So we had that Monarch buff. Do you think that is gonna make it to the best BBs at tier 7?
Well, crazy little squirrel, I do think right now Monarch, Flander, and Massachusetts, they're really among the best global XP battleships at tier 7. Yeah, I think Monarch's buff was pretty big. A lot of people still swear by saying that the ship was, good before with the low HP pool and the 21-second rudder. I say, nay, my friends. But now, with the buff, I think it's good. I think it has a good mix of survivability and damage output potential. And for those who haven't tested it out, and for those that always complain about, free-to-play commanders and not using Azerlane Nelson and not having Nelson, try John Fisher. Like, that is a fantastic commander for an HE spamming battleship, and it's a good option now for players who don't want to spend money on the game. But yes, Monarch, fantastic battleship. Another shameless plug. We have a video on that one too. Go check it out.
No, perfect. Okay, now we have a Latin guy. I think it's a Portuguese. BA Bad One. I think that
he's one of my buddies.
Yeah, he's posting videos very consistently, but he's not getting the views. So guys, please follow him, like, subscribe.
I think he's heading toward, he does most of his videos in Portuguese, I believe, which I like that, going after a different market. He's very consistent, hardworking guy. He's been a mod in my Discord for a very long time. So yeah, shout out to BA Bad. Go support him, guys. He's an awesome content creator and a nice fellow.
Anyway, let's go to his questions. What do you think Caprice needs as a main buff to make her a good destroyer? How did you meet Zaek and you sank me? So that's something personal here. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, okay, so Caprice first. My community knows that I really hate that destroyer, and I think it's god-awful. I make fun of it frequently. I know it goes 50 knots. That's cool. Yes, it has a wood camouflage. That's really cool. Single-fire torps, sonar, whatever. I think it's garbage. To me, it comes down to it's a torp boat, and I know I'm biased. I don't like torp boats. I like gunboats. I play kind of aggressive, and I want to hunt and kill DDs and win the game quick. Caprice, the guns are so anemic. So the HE DPM is actually worse, if you didn't know this, than Udachi and Kagero. So if she had a little bit more for the guns, but I get it. That's that's my problem. It's a torpedo boat, and I just don't vibe with torpedo boats personally.
There is no reason to fire, so you have to keep with the torpedoes. But it's not the meta at the moment. It was when we start playing the game, the stealthy torpedo boats. But now, I don't think that you can survive only relying on your torpedoos, for example, and being stealthy, because we have CVs also.
CVs. How many cruisers with radar? Other great sonars, gunboats and. Right, there's a lot going on there. And the second part of his question was, how did I meet Zwei and Sank, which everybody probably has seen them in my streams and videos and blah, blah, blah. You sank me. The story meeting him was actually kind of hilarious. The only time in the history of me playing World of Warship Legends that I went to looking for a division and I picked up a random person was you sank me. Swear to God, to this day. I went to looking for division. It's been, I don't know, years and years ago. And there was this guy, you sank me, this British guy. He's one of my favorite dudes now. And we just played some matches together. And when I started my Discord server, at one point there was me, you sank me, and Gauzy Gaming. That was it. He was the very first mod. And then, we just hit it off and became friends. He's a super cool guy. And then Zwei, we actually met. He joined the server soon after it started, and he and his brother, the Harzer, they're both insane at this game, by the way. They're god tier. They're amazing. And so at the time I was making these videos the Chronicles of Grosser Kurfürst and the Chronicles of German battleships or the Kriegsmarine, whatever it was. And I was asking people to send me clips. And so Zwei and the Harzer, they sent me clips, and it was some of the best brawling clips I had ever seen. Just 30 clips of perfect drive-bys, like a Bismarck driving by a Yamato, 90,000 damage deletion, good stuff. I could tell those guys were insane players. And then we just started playing together, and we all hit it off and kind of became friends, which is hilarious because, one of us is in America, one is in Great Britain, one is in Germany. It's just kind of a fun hodgepodge, but it just goes to show that this community is awesome, and it's easy to make friends here and make buddies.
Indeed. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. Legit Roru. Couple of questions came to mind. I hope some are good. How do you feel about the player base at the moment? And how do you feel about the current state of the CC program and streamers in general? And he said that Liquid, Cracking Crack are hacking up, Meta only streams once a week, T-Bull exit, potential new CCs, and PG's CC tier list. So the second part is very big, and we're gonna bounce to that. And the third one is, with Legends coming to mobile sometime in the future, what are your thoughts on the future of the game versus people who say the game is dying? We said a lot of things about that, but you can sum up your replies here to Legit Roru.
Okay, first off, what's up, Roru? He joined me on stream, I don't know, like a week ago and helped me out, so thanks for asking some questions too, man. So let's see, which part, that was a lot going on there. So I guess, give me the first one again.
The first one, how do you feel about
was a lot.
How do you feel about the player base at the moment?
Oh, Rory, you're trying to get me in trouble, asking what I think about the player base, huh? Well, you know, after playing some solo matches this week and Atago and stuff like that, I seriously question the player base. But the thing is, like, I can't get mad at people and complain about the player base. Everyone should be able to enjoy this game any way they want to, you know, even if that is they sit down on their couch and they sail their Iowa directly into B-cap into a wall of torpedoes, you know, like, that's how they want to enjoy the game, then let them. On that note, though, I think the player base is not that great, you know, like, as in terms of skill. Like, if we talk about the average win rate being 48%, that tells us a lot. But again, I don't want to dog on those people. I know, you know, I call myself a casual player, but there are some casual players, like a bag of chips in one hand, you know, playing with the other hand, like that casual. So those people should be able to enjoy the game the way they want without people like me dogging on them. Okay, part 2.
So how do you feel about the current state of the CC program and streamers in general? And we have a big parenthesis, but we said about it. Liquid, Cranky hacking up, Meta only streams once a week, etc., etc., etc.
Well, I think for the CC program, I would like to see some fresh blood. Like, that's what I want. Now, I know they raised the stipulations to having 4,000 subs, and that's a lot. Like, we have people like Big J. He's a good streamer. He's consistent. He, you know, De Black Widow. Like, there are some of these guys that have been doing this for Voss Vegas. Like, they're right on the brink. They would have already been eligible if Wargaming hadn't upped it to 4,000. So, you know, I wish we had more people right on the cusp, because we need more CCs, because you're right. Like, the current group, it doesn't seem like we're doing enough. And I don't want to dog on my fellow CCs. Like, if they only have time to do something once a week, okay, fine. But to me, that seems like the bare minimum, and it seems lazy. I would like to see people more active. I miss T-Bull. You know, he did so much for the community. The guy uploaded 3 times a week or more, you know, and did streams. That's what we need. Yeah. So I do hate to hear that. At the same time, some of these guys that were mentioned in that, you know, they've played 35,000 battles. Maybe I'd be a little bored of the game too.
And PG's CC tier list. I wasn't aware of that video, so I asked my community to bring me the source of that video. So I saw the video, and it was PG in a live Discord stream, if I remember. Please correct me. And you know, he put it CCs in a tier list, for example. I don't remember where did he put you at the moment, but I found it that it was made with humor, not with some seriously content. But if you saw it, you can comment on that.
I mean, it's definitely been the buzz in my streams. It's been brought up several times. Apparently, I made it to A tier. And the big joke, I suppose, for the last week has been that someone in the comment section called me toxic. So
really?
There's that. Yeah, but I think PG, what he was trying to do, and at first I was very quick to be like, hey man, that's a bold video to make. You're going to make someone feel marginalized or not feel good about themselves. But at the same time, what the video really does is draw a lot of attention to people. You know, other content creators that maybe aren't well known, well, they got their name out there a little bit. What do they say? There's no such thing as bad press, right? So, cool, yeah. But I made it to A tier. That's fine. I'm happy with that. If that's what the community, if that's where they think I belong, then hey, I'm an A tier content creator.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I like that it gives exposure to a lot of other people, you know, that need it.
Isaac, a couple of interesting questions. What is going to take for you, parenthesis, Derka, but bonus points if we can include Papa, to bust down? Oh my god, I need a lot of content for that question. Can you
do what?
Yeah, let me retake the questions. What is it going to take for you? And then there is a parenthesis and says Derka, but bonus points if we can include Papa. The parenthesis is closing, to bust down. What is that?
I do not know.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to bust down?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, bust down. And
Is this written in your Discord? Can I go see it and read it?
Yeah, you can. Give me the source of that content, please, because I'm lost. And he wants to include me. My god.
To bust down. I don't know what that means, Isaac, to be honest. So we'll go on to the next one. What are your thoughts on the current state of the game? Is that okay to move on to that one? Okay. You know, it's like I said before, I'm not going to pick on the player base. I think it's good that, like Nick said, you know, this update might bring new players to the game. Mobile might bring new players to the game, and that's good. We need that for a game not to die. Do you want to see what happens when a game kind of dies? Go look at Starfield. Like, the thing was off the charts, and then a month later, you know, not much is going on. You have to keep bringing new players into the game. So I suppose that's my thoughts on the current state. I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything to... I don't think it's dying if that's what we're going for. Yes.
Favorite tier to play at? What's your favorite tier? Your safety
tier
zone?
7.
Tier 7. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so happy that tier 8 came here, you know, to shelter us from the crazy LT ships and to be that little buffer. And then plus, because we got the economic bonuses, tier 7 is my bread and butter. It's so fun to play. And again, once again, you're sheltered from the people who start the Shimakaze project, the Gearing project, the Yamato project in Legendary tier, and then 3 months later they log back in and play that ship terribly. Tier 7 is kind of sheltered from that. All the campaign ships from tier 7, they're pretty old by now, so tier 7, baby.
Yeah, it is my sweet spot also. I like to play tier 7. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Your least favorite tier to play at. Okay.
It's like it's a love and hate relationship. It's legendary tier, man. Like, I've been having so much fun in the Zao, but it's so frustrating to be playing at the highest tier and then just to have people in your team that have no idea what they're doing, basically. So it's very frustrating. Like, I love it because the damage potential is huge and you have these big, exciting, cool, powerful ships, but I hate it because of blue team.
Yeah. The blueberries. Perfect. Opinions on how certain ships are behind the paywall. Lenin, Zipangu, etc. Okay, that's the bitter part of the questions, but okay.
Yeah, like, again, it
paywall.
That sucks that they're behind a paywall, but this company is trying to make a living, and this is how they do that. It's free to play for the majority of players, I would still say. And you don't have to pay for it. Like, you know, I know it sucks that someone can go spend 17,500 doubloons on Azerlane, New Jersey, and have arguably the best tier 7 premium. Like, is it pay to win? Probably a little bit. And that sucks, but nothing I say is going to do anything about it. So I think it's one of those things you're just going to have to live with.
Move on, and it is the reason that many things are implemented in the game because someone pays the bill. So you can say anything about it, and the community, we can't make anything about it. So it is what it is. Let's go to the next. What do you think of the new crate system, and where you need to buy tier 3 crates to get the chains to drop higher tier crates. So that's a bit of a problem here. What do you think about it? I mean, where you need to buy a tier 3 crates, that's something that needs to be calculated, but it doesn't guarantee that have a chance to drop higher tier crates. That's something that needs to be wisely chosen at the time. But you can explain if you have anything on your mind.
I don't actually have any knowledge on this other than making fun of crates being in crates. I didn't read through the crate system, so I don't have a full grasp on what it is and what's going on. But again, crates and crates sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a fan of that already. But whatever. It's it's another way to keep the lights on. So it is what it is. Don't buy them if you don't support that idea.
Perfect. Let's go to the last questions. And last but not least, if you and Sank decide to shoot a movie together, can I direct it?
100% you can be our director, Isaac. I would love that.
Okay, perfect. Isaac, you got your answers. Let's move on. Okay, and now we have Tink. How do you think about the competitive scene we have right now? The scene, the competitive scene. Okay.
I wish, Tink, that I knew more about the competitive scene, because I have the Yoink fleet. You guys are running it all and doing everything, and I don't even know a lot about it. But what I do know is it's exciting content. Like when I see competitive matches posted on YouTube, it's cool, and I'm always going to click and watch because I want to see that side of the game that I don't experience for myself. I have no desire to play competitive or, to devote the amount of time it takes to be that good at the game to win competitions, but I would love to watch it. So it sounds like there's a good amount of fleets going on, and I keep hearing about these grudge matches being set up, and it sounds really, really cool, and I'm glad we have that going on now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is something that it's very interested on people that they don't want to play as competitive as they want. I mean, I am a player that I don't want to sweat my keyboard and my gamepad and my couch. Right. Yeah, I have a very stressful life, and I need to be...
Yeah, and I don't need more stress.
Yeah, I really don't need. I'm not in the age of the years of the joyful years of having anything around in my life. So I'm very hard working, and I need some times of the day to relax. So I really don't want
All right,
to play
I'm with you, Nick. 100%.
Yeah. So the guys that want the competitive skin, they have it. They can do anything about it. They can play all day tournaments and try to earn all the trophies. You have the tools, make it happen. We are the viewers. I like the views. I like the views, and I like the thing that they produce. So keep it on. Do you have any plans on sponsoring and or organizing a tournament in the future?
I mean, spontaneously, no. But if someone comes to me and they want help sponsoring something or things like that, I would absolutely love to help. But I have no desire or plans to do anything like that. But if you have ideas, Tink, holler at me.
Okay, thoughts on fleet battles? I mean, we are repeating the same questions. We already said them. Do you think there should be ship bans for fleet battles, so poorly balanced ships can be avoided? For example, an old Chappie?
Yes, 1000%. Azurlane Shapayev is the most egregious ship to come to Tier 7, dear God, and they offered it back up for sale. Why? I have no idea. It's clearly the best performing cruiser at Tier 7. So yes, there should be ship bans. Just like on PC, things like the Petropavlovsk, when it wasn't balanced well, its freeboard was like 3.5 inches, and there's nothing you can do against that ship. No, absolutely there should be ship bans. And I would go farther than Azurlane Shapayev. I would go with Mine CE, Samur CE, Wichita CE. These ships are crutch ships. If you're spamming them, and you have like good win rates in these ships, it doesn't mean anything. They're crutch ships, they're overperforming, they're not... it doesn't make you a good player. Sorry, I get a little heated on that one. And this coming from a guy that has most of his battles played in Mine CE. But that was my dark past, and I'm reformed. So.
Okay. Okay, perfect, perfect. What do you think about Kirisame? It's in my languages, but I think that Kirisame and
Kirisame, yeah.
Kirisame. And do you think it will be implemented in any other way other than crates in the future? If so, how would you think it will return? So we are talking about a ship that is behind not a paywall. It's
a crate ship, yeah. It's a super prize ship.
It's a super prize, yeah.
It's like the Shinonome, the lower tier IJN torp boat. I think it's going to stay behind crates. It's just that special ship at that tier that's going to stay behind crates. Would I like to see it return? Absolutely, because it's so freaking cool. It has 3 different hulls that you can equip. Now, the reason I'm sure Wargaming doesn't want this to come out, think if you just started playing the game, you don't have many premium ships, you get the Kirisame, you have 3 premium ships. You can play a torp boat, you can play a hybrid, you can play a gunboat. It's really cool, and I love that idea. I wish there were more ships like that at each tier, but I see why there aren't. It's 3 ships in 1.
3 to 1, and it gives you the diversity that you want. So it's not something that Wargaming wants at the moment to have. So you can, it will be locked as a super prize. I think, okay, it may be returned as something else. We don't know. I don't comment on the future, as Blip says in the Discord.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to see the auction return? The auction.
Hell no. Nobody wanted the auction. Like, was there any player that's like, you know what would be a good idea? Let's have an auction. No. I'm kind of glad they haven't done it. They only did 2 ships, right? The Elbong and then that tier 3 German battleship, the König Albert or something. Yeah, no, I don't want to see the auction return. Use your resources on something else that betters the player base instead of, again, another monetization scheme. I get it. Keep the lights on. I love it. That's cool. I'll support you. But the auction sucks. No.
No. Yeah, I think that it failed to be implemented here in the game, but I don't know if it will ever get back. But I think that it had negative impact, especially in the social media, for example. But I don't think...
it was just something else for the player base to complain about. Like, is it really worth it? Did you make enough money off of it to hear all of these people whine and complain more? Just a question.
Finally, what would you think about an in-game player-to-player trading system where captain skins, cases and ships can be traded like Rocket League, for example? Interesting.
Oh, I mean, that's a really cool idea, Tink. I love that, but of course it would never be implemented into a game like this. It just goes against the whole the monetization of the game, I think. But it is a cool idea. I think the CCs have actually brought this up, and I've seen conversations, I believe, between the community managers about things like this, being able to trade, for some people have 1,500 premium days, others have 4,000 promotion orders, and they talk about being able to trade these currencies and do things like that. It's a cool idea, but it's never going to happen, I'm afraid.
Never happen because it doesn't reproduce money. So, if you follow the road of the money here in the game and in every free game, you're gonna find your answers very, very quickly, because everything is set up with monetization, everything is set up to produce money. If something doesn't produce money, it's not gonna be implemented soon. It's gonna be implemented in the very, very, very last thing. So you can find your answers here. Think. That's my advice if you are asking about those. So I think that we made it all, and it was a very good session about it. So I think that, Derka, we don't have anything else to say unless you want to close the podcast with something special. I will give you whatever time you want to say anything, or you can ask me questions if you like.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for having me. I know this has been a long time coming. We should have done this a year ago.
Yeah, indeed.
Like you say, sometimes life is life. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting me in the channel. This has been so much fun, especially this last little bit. I feel like we've seen some more explosive growth. My goal still by 12/31, the end of the year, I want to hit 10K subs, and I am going to push as hard as I can. We had a little hiccup with the broken mic, but we're back in business, and I'm going to push as hard as I can to make it to 10K subs by the end of the year. So thank you, Nick, for having me. I appreciate it, and thank you everyone for the questions and being a part of the community. Really appreciate you guys.